Sociedade, Imunidade Boa Moche. Gotta pay homage this morning, gotta pay homage feeling Brazil, yes, Brazil. Gullah Geechee people, guess what? Our connection is to Brazil also. And Lorenzo da Turner, the great scholar, the father of Gullah studies, made the connection to Brazil and also Gullah Geechee people. Our story is in Canada, in the Caribbean, Central and South America, and South America. That's our story, and going back to Africa. So, we got some commentary and some questions and some statements. Now, I got to throw this out there. Slop jars. What time of the 24-hour period was a slop jar important to us? Now, for some of you, you're going to probably say a slop jar was important all the time, but for some people, it was a certain period of the 24-hour period that was important, slop jars. Some of y'all don't know about slop jars, and some of y'all probably say, why is Jamal talking about slop jars right now? Just throwing it out there. Because I want to move to this right here. Why would snakes be inside the outhouse? Yeah, because some didn't have the indoor plumbing, so you had to have your outhouse. Some people don't know about that. But why would a snake be inside the outhouse? Then also, why would you have garlic around your house? That is on the side of the house, in front of the house, and back of the house. Why would you have garlic? I'm not going to make the comment about the slop jar. I'm not going to make the comment about the snakes being in the outhouse, because some of y'all understand. And for some of you, you will allay your fears when you got to go inside that outhouse. Even if there's a snake inside it, you ain't sweating that. But now with regards to the garlic, it's tied to protection. Yeah, tied to some protection. Again, Gullah Geechee culture, throwing it out there, the garlic, that's right. But see, some people don't know our story. And ask this question. Did any of y'all know about lightning bugs? Lightning bugs. Some people call them fireflies. Lightning bugs. I remember lightning bugs. I love lightning bugs, fireflies. And I had the great experience of being in Hilton Head, Bluffton, seeing fireflies and lightning bugs. And some of y'all saw them in various areas. Then I also had this great experience that I was at Georgia Southern Statesboro campus for a panel discussion on environmental justice issues regarding climate change and all those issues tied to environmental justice. So, of course, I'm there to discuss an element that sometimes get left out. That's that urban experience is left out at times. It is also the experience of African people of color, that sometimes are left out of the conversation. So that's why I was there. And I'm going to share this with y'all. I despise racists. I hate racists. So some of you don't come to me and say, oh, you're not supposed to hate anybody. Listen, that's not my spiritual foundation. My foundation says that I'm supposed to address and for those people who are racist and engage in that. So I can hate them, I can dislike them. That's you. Don't come at me about that. So I despise explicit racists and benign racists because all of them like to deal with mythologies, social mythologies, economic mythologies, educational mythologies, spiritual, religious mythologies. They like to deal with all that and don't want to hear the truth. They close their ears to the truth. They ignore it. So while I'm there in Statesboro, I talk about lightning bugs. I talk about Hilton Head Island, Bluffton, talk about lightning bugs, and talk about that was an indication that we had a community that didn't have pollution. Oh, you don't realize that? Lightning bugs are an environmental thermometer. See, Jamal Touré realized that. So when I speak about it, some of you have heard me talk about this, lightning bugs being the environment. That means that environment is not polluted. I shared that on the panel discussion. I discussed about honeybees. I discussed that. I brought that up. I then also got into a conversation about how we see disparities with regard to sanitation being done in communities. I talk about sugar ditch. That's in Tunica, Mississippi. See how what I discussed is involving Gullah Geechee people, but just say I took it to another level. I talk about urban areas and sanitation. Then I took it to Tunica, Mississippi, environmental injustice. I discussed that right there. Climate change. I talked about that. See, because again, Gullah Geechee people, we're holistic. We deal with the totality. See, I got that from my uncles, my aunts, my cousins on Hilton Head because they're still farming, still growing. And also I got that from Queen Quet, understanding her works that she's been doing, fighting regarding environmental justice for our people. Because I also brought about the Fusky Island, Turtle Island, how the pollutants, contaminants from along the Savannah River, the factories, all that, contaminated those areas so that way our people could no longer live there. On Fusky, Turtle Island, couldn't be there anymore. I talked about communities such as West Savannah, Woodsville, Garden City, Hudson Hill, factories, the west side of the city of Savannah, but the factories, the pollutions that were right there. I discussed that right there and talked about the impact that affected people in Liberty County, chemicals in Liberty County. I discussed Brunswick, Georgia, Glenn County, Georgia. Again, the pollutions that are right there. I talked about our communities because we are holistic. And it's about environmental justice. And I discussed the little, teeny, tiny fireflies, the lightning bugs. But sometimes people who are racist, explicit, or benign don't want to hear that coming from us because they want us to be relegated to the back and that we should just listen to them. And when I tell them, no, stop. We sit at the table of humanity as equals and at the head of the table. We don't just sit at the table and be quiet. We gonna put it out there, and I had put it out there about the lightning bugs. But somebody had an issue, say that Jamal Touré, Dr. Touré don't know what he's talking about. I was like, this is some foolishness right here. You got an issue because you want the mythologies. I'm not gonna give you the mythologies. And I talked about how the lightning bugs are an indication of an environment. Oh, excuse me. I also talked about medical apartheid. Medical apartheid. There's a book called Medical Apartheid, or some call it Medical Apartheid, and discuss how, again, when we deal with environmental injustice issues, like a place called Carver Village, that there was an experiment done in the Carver Village area. I brought that up. I said people think about Tuskegee, but also it's not just Tuskegee. One community that we know of in many other areas that they engage in experiments, again, polluting the areas of African people. So that's why we got to do this. Kwame Ture said, we must talk about these issues and be in places in all arenas to help black people. So if you're a sanitation worker, you can help us regarding environmental issues and tell us what's going on, the disparities, so we can bring about equity. So that's why all of us are important. That's why Gullah Geechee people like myself, that's what we do what we do. It's not just one area. We do it all areas to totality. But again, the person had an issue. I brought up about fireflies. About honeybees, how honeybees are not being lost. Again, we need honeybees, because if we don't have honeybees, then we don't have us anymore. Yeah, I discussed this. So this one person had an issue. And I tell folks, guess what? The things that I share with you all as a JLA, I'm merely giving you the seeds that can be planted that you can now take it to another level. And sometimes what I say, you might not like it, but guess what? Somebody else will validate what I have shared. But if you got your mind's ears open, you were going to take it in. Your mind's eye open, you will take it in. And now realize, wow, I need to go forward because I had ignored it at first. So what has happened recently, there is a study that has been done that has talked about the loss of lightning bugs, fireflies. I saw them as a child, but many of us don't see them today because of pollution. Because of contaminants in the air, chemicals in the air, from mosquito controls that are wiping out mosquitoes, but also damaging fireflies, the pollution from factories, damaging, wiping out fireflies. So there has been a study done that said that 2,000 species of lightning bugs, fireflies, are being affected each year. The UN has talked about the extermination, the extinction of insects tied to human beings. Excuse me. Here it is. Here goes a study being done that has nothing to do with me, saying the very thing, validating what I had shared with folks. And then guess what? In that same study, they do the same thing that I have said to people about fireflies, lightning bugs being an indicator of the environment, of pollution. Much like a canary going inside a mine, that again, the fumes are an indication if there's going to be a potential loss of life. Lightning bugs represent that for us too. I tell people, when you have a lightning bug in your environment, that means that your environment is not polluted. But if you have none, when you used to have them before, that means that community is not polluted. That area is polluted. Yeah, lightning bugs. Little lightning bugs that I love. And then guess what? Lightning bugs, the chemicals in lightning bugs can help detect MD and also some forms of cancer. The little bug can help human beings. The teeny tiny thing has a way to help us. But guess what? If we destroy them, we destroy ourselves. See, now, some people don't like me talking like that. But I went and shared it. And guess what? A study was done that had nothing to do with me. Validated that. They didn't like what I said because I'm coming from a perspective that they're not expecting. Yeah. And then I'll throw this out there to you. Bluffton Hilton Head MLK Observation Committee, or Observers Committee. Excuse me, that's my MS kicking in sometimes. And so they are going to honor myself with the Social Justice Award and also somebody else I know getting an award. I found out. Queen Quet. Oh my God. These two Gullah Geechees who met in the 90s via the internet, looking at the work that each one was doing, now connected in 2000 and now bringing about what we see, the National Heritage Area known as the Gullah Geechee National Heritage Area. That, yes, okay, it was Queen Quet, James Clyburn, and Michael Allen were the ones who did it. And then Queen Quet then had some of us involved with regard to bringing it here. Yeah. Y'all ain't had no that. Y'all give accolades to other people, not even understanding the foundation. Yes, these little black people who don't go and brag about stuff, now I have to get y'all straight. Because again, when we talked about all this in the early 2000s, we talked about the environment. So she's receiving an award, and Jamal Touré. What they don't realize in Bluffton and Hilton Head, that what they did, they are not honoring us. It's not us. It's not Queen Quet and myself. Actually, they're honoring the ancestors. These two people, out of all the other group of us, and from Paulus Island to Charleston, we have been speaking on behalf of the ancestors to you all. It's about the ancestors and the future generations that who are not yet born. That's what this is about. The work has been about that. And so what they're doing in Bluffton and Hilton Head right now in January, it is honoring the ancestors. Yeah. That's the power. So when some of us are speaking, we're not speaking about ourselves. We're speaking from the ancestral, from the Most High. It's the honoring the Most High and the ancestors and the future generations that are not here right now physically. That's all we try to do, plant the seeds for it to be taken to another level. And if you listen, you can take it to another level. It's just a seed for you to take. It's not about ego. It's about we go. We must go forward. We must go with excellence. We must go for a future, for future generations. That is positive and that is light. Yes, the totality of who we are. That's us.